Marvel Rivals is proving everybody else wrong when they say that, oh no, it's just because of competition that this game flopped. Oh, it was a bad time of year to release. Now, this is a game that is coming up on, 10 months in release. It still has an incredibly healthy player base, and even with Battlefield 6's monumental success with its open beta taking place this weekend, like, it can still carve out a very nice existence. It's so wild when you make a fun game and you listen to your audience and you provide them what they want. People stick around. I know it's a wild concept for a bunch of game developers, but hey, I guess those Chinese guys got it cracked over there because Marvel Rivals devs have a year's worth of characters planned. Because we talked about this earlier this year as well, because they said, oh yeah, we got these weird things called comic books that we respect, and we bring in like lore experts and all that stuff to help us design a bunch of things. So yeah, if we ever think that we're running low on content, boy, we could just pick up one of them old floppies and go, hey, why not bring this guy in? Why not bring her in? Okay, oh cool, she got this much history behind her. Okay, what's her costume look like throughout the years? I know it's a very difficult blueprint to replicate, but I guess it's something that could only take place with a certain type of adaptation for a certain type of medium. Just adhering to the lore and respecting the books. You could just never see that working somewhere like on television or in the theaters. It's just, it would never work. It would never work. Marvel Rivals has a year worth of a new characters planned for preparation of the 12 months in advance of new heroes is underway. Marvel Rivals director Guang Yang, has revealed to Insider Gaming. New heroes are one of the core features of Marvel Rivals, which has transitioned into introducing a new hero every half season, and the next 12 months of content are prepared. Speaking exclusively to Insider Gaming, yes, Marvel Rivals Ignite mid-season finals in Guangzhou, Guanghang, there's a lot of words, revealed the initial work has been done on characters set to release this time next year. That is absolutely amazing level of planning, just in entertainment at this point in time, and that's why the game continues to succeed. And you know why else they continue to succeed? Yeah, because they just simply want to give the people what they want, okay? Because Marvel Rivals director responds to Gooner game accusations, says that a majority of players like sexy skins. Yeah, exactly, because people want their characters to look cool. And if you give a sexy chick the opportunity to look like a sexy chick, yeah, people are going to take them. There's a reason that games in a bygone era, okay, the old fighting games of yore, whenever a new Mortal Kombat would come out, new Street Fighter would come out, new DOA would come out, they would have, 5 or 6 different unlockable costumes that you didn't have to pay for, that were just simply there waiting for you to either put in a different code or grind through a crypt or do a couple of training mode features, and you could go ahead and, slap on pants or a dress for Chun-Li, whatever looks right. Okay, you could have tights or the one piece for Cammy, and do we even need to mention all the different variations you could give for the ninjas in Mortal Kombat? Yeah, I don't think so. And that's when those games were absolutely cooking. Now, Street Fighter 6, funny how they just released a swimwear pack, and they're still flying high at this point, but you take a look at Mortal Kombat and its interesting character design, and well, there's a reason why Mortal Kombat 1 died in less than a year. But then you got Marvel Rivals over here being the one lone thing in the year of 2025 to be attached to Marvel and to actually be successful. Wild. Rather than paying any mind to those more annoying puritanical sections of the internet, ooh, shots fired, that have written off Marvel Rivals character design, in particular those belonging to its female roster like Psylocke and Squirrel Girl, as nothing more than disgusting pervert gooner bait. Game director Guangyang Chen, okay, thank God, we'll just call him Hey Chen, has instead chosen to focus his attention on those who have chosen to enjoy them. Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, we're not going to listen to the outside chatter, all of that additional noise. We're going to listen to the people actually play our game. Wild, right? Mr. Chen provided his thoughts on the hero shooter's risque reputation during a recent interview given to the aptly named Rivals Assembly fan news outlet during the Marvel Rivals mid-season Ignite tournament, as recently held on August 6th through the 10th in China. Met at the top of their time met at the top of their time. Yeah, okay, together with a request for details regarding the team's design process. The director explained, we were making Marvel Rivals, especially when creating the heroes. We really focused on how to bring the abilities of Marvel superheroes to the game so that players could truly experience the joy of embodying a superhero. Exactly. So our design process, we started from the unique traits and characteristics of each superhero. From there, we designed a hero skill set, and we moved on to a white box stage, essentially a prototype test. Then we proceeded with art support and production. Finally, we integrated everything together and went through a very detailed polishing phase before arriving at the version of the game that players see today. Exactly. Like, you take a look at Luna Snow, and you know that she went through rigorous testing. Okay, obviously. Next, Rivals Assembled inquired with Mr. Cheng as to what the dev team's general hero development cycle looked like, to which the director opened a lengthy recap by recalling, first we decide on the hero roster. And it starts with looking at the season we're planning. We have the discussions about the season story, which locations it will focus on, and what kind of story will unfold between certain heroes within the storyline. We figured out which heroes would be a good fit to appear, and then we figure out what would be the best fit for them. And then we have in-depth discussions with the Marvel team, and only after that do we finalize the hero roster. And once that's decided, we move on to designing the heroes themselves. Isn't that interesting, right? Just slid right in there. Yeah, we talked to like a Marvel expert who knows this shit, who would actually work out in the places that we want to go ahead and explore, which characters would work out there, and then we figure out, okay, which ones do we want to focus on that makes sense in the setting and the story in which we're telling. What a refreshing approach. Again, this is why Rivals is successful and everything else fucking stinks. Our design team will first study the hero in depth. I bet you they will. Learning all the different aspects of their backgrounds and traits. Based on that, we create fun and engaging ability combinations. After that, we make a prototype to test those abilities if the overall gameplay feels both feasible and fun. We start producing art assets for the hero. The stage takes quite a while. Before release, we do extensive internal balancing testing within our design team. Only when that all checks out, and once the hero is both fun and well balanced, we'll finally release it to the broader player base. I know, right? Yeah, after extensive testing and see what ends up being responded to the most positively, right? So yes, down to brass tacks here. How do you guys respond to people calling Marvel Rivals a Gooner game? Taking the question in stride, the director asserted, because our design, as mentioned earlier, is inspired by classic comic themes, including some very outstanding skins like Mantis and also Psylocke's Vengeance outfit, Emma Frost, the Malice skin for Invisible Woman, which, hey, even Vanessa Kirby likes the most. It's so wild, right? Imagine that. Women also like this stuff. Not the only people that actually hate it are just the terminally online, either Bible-thumping trad cucks that will tell you just how bad games like this are, but then have premium subscriptions to the hub. Fucking hypocrites. Or just those land whales who despise anything a 3 or above. But yes, these all come from classic comic designs. We take those classic comic designs and create some more fashionable designs based on them to gain players' appreciation. I think it also reflects the broad recognition from our players. Exactly, because they are super successful. It's not rocket science, people, okay? But at least some other people are starting to pay attention. Like I said before, you had Street Fighter 6 with their summer collection that came out, and it being received quite well. I'm not calling for the goonification of anything. I'm just out here saying it's more than alright if we have aesthetically pleasing characters. Let's just go for that. And apparently, games like Rivals are having a knock-on effect because Overwatch 2, okay, a game that went from being the talk of the town back, when did it originally release? 2018 or 2019? It was huge when it came out. And then, yeah, it ended up getting the Blizzard treatment with all of those fucking freaks that worked over there at the time, and it just became the gender ambiguous freak simulator online that everybody started to ditch. Overwatch 2's launch was an absolute disaster, and now all of a sudden Overwatch 2 is moving away from oddball heroes and players are devastated. Are they really? Or what did they move into? What exactly are they moving to? Overwatch 2 has always stood out for its wild mix of heroes. The roster includes a literal hamster in a mech suit. Yeah, and it also contains a cowboy that they had to that they had to rename because it was culturally insensitive, and also made him gay. Actually, that's the entire roster. They just eventually made them either baseline bi or just gay in general. They had to reduce Tracer's ass because, again, a bunch of morbidly obese freaks took offense to digital assets. But yeah, no, it's all about hamsters, yes, a talking gorilla and a robots, yeah, sure. However, don't mind that diva over in the corner. However, that balance of grounded and bizarre characters is set to dramatically change. In an interview with Polygon, Overwatch 2 lead concept artist Daryl Tan has revealed a major shift from oddball characters, explaining the most recent hero set to be added, Wu Yang. Okay, the team moved away from oddball characters like Wrecking Ball and more recently Ramtara, sure, in favor of more conventional and conventionally attractive characters. Oh shit, imagine that. The shit that people weren't playing because for a long time, you know, Overwatch has been dying and competitors like Marvel Rivals has been flourishing is because, yeah, it's not just because you got characters that are looking like this, okay? Not just because you can play Emma Frost in different levels. Oh no, that's a Sue Storm skin? Interesting. Oh, it's voiced by Yuffie. Hey, yo, shout out to her. Oh, they don't even have an Emma Frost skin in here. Okay, I'll probably... Oh no, there it is. There's one. It's not just because of that. It's also just because they focus on their gameplay and they make changes based on this response and the feedback from their audience. Something that Overwatch has been famous for not doing. Reducing the original squads from 6v6 to 5v5, and then I think they've run it back to 6v6, but you had a bunch of activists that were working at Blizzard trying to force their ideas, their agendas on the audience, and it had backfired tremendously. Marvel Rivals has succeeded because they just simply did the obvious thing. They looked at the books, they paid attention to the books, and they made the books as accurately as possible. It's not rocket science. You make an attractive product, and guess what? People are attracted to it. You make something like fucking Overwatch, and then people just look at it like the fucking cartoony Fortnite knockoff that it eventually became. The industry is shifting. Probably too late for some, but for others, a course correction is happening. We'll just have to see what happens with the rest of the industry because, oh boy, the collapse is imminent. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.